These were Oregon cold cases from 1969 through 1986. Before we go over the cold cases, please make sure that you're following the channel. You give this video a like and you share it out. It not only helps the channel, but it helps spread awareness on these cases. Also, please forgive me for any names that I may mispronounce. On July 16th, 1969, Nikki Britton disappeared from Albany, Oregon. She was 15 years old. She would now be 71. She was 5'4" and weighed 145 pounds with brown hair and hazel eyes. Any information, call 541-917-7680. On October 15th, 1973, Deborah Lee Tomlinson disappeared from Creswell, Oregon. She was 16 years old. She would now be 66. She was 5'5" and weighed 140 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 541-682-4141. On January 12, 1975, Brian Page disappeared from Salem, Oregon. He was 16 years old. He would now be 66. He was between 5'6" and 5'8" and weighed between 140 and 155 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 503-823-0400. On April 19, 1977, Jay Pringle disappeared from Gardena, Oregon. He was 17 years old. He would now be 65. He was 5'10" and weighed 150 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 541-774-6800. On May 24, 1977, Rodney Grissom disappeared from Albany, Oregon. He was 14 years old. He would now be 62. He was 5'2" and weighed 100 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 541-917-6654. A few days later, on May 26, 1977, his girlfriend Karen Jean Lee disappeared from Cornelius, Oregon. She was 15 years old. She would now be 63. She was 5'7" and weighed 128 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. If you have any information, call 503-681-5337. On July 19, 1977, Cindy King disappeared from Grants Pass, Oregon. She was 15 years old. She would now be 63. She was 5'3" and weighed 115 pounds with brown hair and hazel eyes. Any information, call 541-474-5123. On June 22, 1978, Edward Nye disappeared from Prospect, Oregon. He was 14 years old. He would now be 61. He was 5'3" and weighed 120 pounds with blonde hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 541-774-6800. On December 14, 1978, Christy Farney disappeared from Medford, Oregon. She was 6 years old. She would now be 52. She was 3'8" and weighed 50 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 541-774-2250. On November 19, 1982, Lorinda Bronson disappeared from Portland, Oregon. She was 18 years old. She would now be 59. She was between 5'6" and 5'7" and weighed between 110 and 120 pounds with black hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 206-296-3111. On September 30th, 1983, Joan Hall disappeared from Warrenton, Oregon. She was 17 years old. She would now be 58. She was between 5'3" and 5'6" and weighed between 110 and 120 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 503-325-8635. On June 16, 1984, William Gunn disappeared from Klamath Falls, Oregon. He was 15 years old. He would now be 55. He was 5'8", weighed 115 pounds with brown hair and blue eyes. Any information, call 541-884-4876. On July 22, 1986, Dwayne Bachman disappeared from Lincoln City, Oregon. He was 15 years old. He would now be 53. He was 5'5" and weighed 130 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. Any information, call 503-994-3636. On August 14, 1986, Jeremy Bright disappeared from Myrtle Point, Oregon. He was 14 years old. He would now be 52. He was 6 foot, weighed 140 pounds with brown hair and green eyes. Any information, call 541-396-3121. On September 1st, 1986, Toby Anderson disappeared from Selma, Oregon. He was 16 years old. He would now be 54. He was between 5'5" and 5'7" and weighed between 150 and 170 pounds with brown hair and green eyes. Any information, call 1-800-442-2068. If you have any information on any of these missing persons, please call the number listed with their case.